You're 25 and exhausted. While everyone else your age is building careers and having energy for weekend plans, you're dragging yourself through each day like you're 45 and broken. You wake up tired, stay tired, go to bed exhausted, but can't sleep. Coffee stopped working, energy drinks make you crash, and you've tried everything. Here's the truth. You're not broken, you're living wrong. These 10 changes saved my life and gave me energy I forgot I could have. Number 1, I stopped earning rest and just took it. For years, I believed I had to earn rest like some twisted loyalty program. I'd collapse on my couch and immediately feel panic. Did I do enough to justify sitting here? If the answer was maybe not, I'd open my laptop, scroll work emails like I was trying to win an award for self-destruction. Rest isn't a reward. Rest is a requirement. Like food, like air, like water. When you treat rest like a trophy, you turn life into a never-ending competition, where you're always trying to earn the right to be human. I hit a wall and said, "This is insane. I'm resting now." Not because I earned it, but because I'm a living being who needs it. Let me tell you, when I gave myself permission to rest on good days, bad days, productive days, lazy days, my energy didn't just return, it stabilized. I stopped swinging between burnout and guilt. Rest doesn't just refill you, it redefines you. It's a quiet rebellion in a culture that tells you your worth equals your productivity. Number 2, I stopped starting my day like I was already late. Every morning felt like I was already behind before my feet hit the floor. I'd open my eyes and immediately grab my phone, doom scroll Instagram, check work emails, scan news, respond to group chats. By 8 a.m., my brain was already overstimulated and stress levels through the roof. The way you start your day becomes your day. If you begin overwhelmed and reactive, you've already lost control. One morning, total accident, I forgot to charge my phone. Woke up to silence, no notifications, no alerts, no fake emergencies from work. Just me, breathing, existing unplugged for about 15 minutes. I felt something I hadn't felt in months, peace. I tried it intentionally the next day, then the next. That tiny window, 10 to 15 minutes before the world starts demanding attention, became sacred. No phone for the first 15 minutes. Glass of water, some deep breathing, maybe journaling. Nothing revolutionary, just space to exist before chaos begins. Same job, same responsibilities, same problems, but my energy completely different because I was finally leading my day instead of being dragged through it. Now here's what's going to blow your mind. The thing that's probably draining your energy more than anything else isn't some big obvious problem. It's something you probably think makes you more productive, but it's actually turning your brain into mush and leaving you exhausted by lunch. Number 3, I stopped multitasking like it was a superpower. I used to pride myself on juggling 50 things at once. Answering emails while on calls, scrolling Instagram while watching Netflix, eating lunch while working, texting while having conversations. I thought I was being efficient. I was being scattered. My brain was constantly switching between tasks, never fully engaging with anything, always running in background mode like a computer with too many tabs open. My friend, multitasking is a myth. Your brain can't actually do multiple things at once. It's rapidly switching between tasks, and every switch costs energy. That's why you feel fried after a day of getting a lot done. I started single tasking, one thing at a time, full attention, complete focus. When I ate, I ate. When I worked, I worked. When I talked to people, I actually listened instead of planning my next response. Everything got easier. Work took less energy because I wasn't fighting my own attention span. Conversations became more meaningful. Even simple tasks felt less overwhelming because I wasn't trying to do 3 other things simultaneously. Number 4, I got brutally honest about what was draining me. The biggest reason I was tired all the time was living a lie, not a dramatic secret life lie. A quiet, sneaky dishonesty, bleeding my energy every day. I said I was fine when I wasn't. Told people I loved my job while fantasizing about quitting every few hours. Said I was just tired, when really I was spiritually malnourished and drowning in disappointment about where my life was heading. Lying to yourself is exhausting. Carrying resentment about your choices is exhausting. Pretending you're okay with your life when you're deeply unsatisfied is soul-crushingly exhausting. I didn't realize how much energy I was bleeding just holding in the truth, that I hated my routine, that I'd outgrown goals I set in college, that I was terrified I was wasting my 20s in a life that didn't fit. The breaking point came one night sitting in my car after another soul-crushing day. I whispered, "I don't want to do this anymore." That wasn't a fix, just truth finally said out loud. Energy started coming back because when you stop suppressing truth, your nervous system doesn't work overtime pretending everything's okay. I started journaling stuff I was scared to admit, talking to friends who don't judge when things get real, looking in the mirror and saying, "This isn't working, but maybe something else can." I actually dive much deeper into this whole concept of energy-draining lies in my weekly newsletter. If you haven't checked it out yet, I've added the link below. It's where I share the stuff that doesn't make it into videos, and I'd love to have you there. Number 5, I cut out people who drained my energy. You know when you hang out with someone and feel exhausted afterward, even though you just sat there? That's emotional fatigue, and it's as real as running a marathon. I had people who turned every conversation into unpaid therapy sessions. They never asked how I was doing unless it was to pivot back to their drama. Every text thread became crisis management. Every hangout left me needing to lie on the floor and stare at the ceiling. Some of the most draining people aren't obviously toxic. They're emotionally exhausting in that I feel guilty setting boundaries way. Nice enough that you feel bad, wanting space, but they leave you feeling like a dead phone battery. I made an actual list. People who energized me versus people who made me feel like I needed to reboot my entire system. When I saw it written out, some friendships were actually unpaid emotional labor contracts. I started creating space, gently, quietly, no drama, less availability, fewer immediate responses, more boundaries. The weird thing? Most energy vampires didn't notice. They just moved on to the next available free therapist. You can be kind without being a sponge. You can care without carrying everyone else's problems on your back. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I've noticed something interesting about people who seem to have endless energy versus those who are always drained. It's not about age or genetics. It's about how they structure their lives. Have you ever noticed that some people can work long days and still have energy for hobbies, while others are exhausted after a few hours? What do you think makes that difference? Feel free to share in the comments below. I'm curious about your observations. Number 6, I started eating for energy, not just convenience. I lived off energy drinks, protein bars, and whatever I could microwave between meetings. I thought I was being efficient, but I was running my body on sugar spikes and processed garbage. I'd grab what looked healthy, granola bars, smoothies, fancy energy drinks with vitamins, then crash face first into my desk 45 minutes later, wondering why I felt like someone unplugged my brain. Sugar crashes, processed carbs, and healthy snacks that are basically candy bars with marketing degrees. Those energy bars that give you everything except energy. I started paying attention to how I felt after eating, not how full I was, but how my brain and body functioned 30, 60, 90 minutes later. Most of what I ate was knocking me out like sedatives in disguise, even stuff with pretty packaging and words like organic and superfood. I started eating real whole foods that provided stable energy. Eggs, nuts, avocado, Greek yogurt without added sugar, actual vegetables. Foods with protein, fiber, and healthy fats that help your brain work instead of shutting it down. I stopped eating like I was preparing for hibernation. Instead of massive meals that left me food comatose, I started eating smaller portions with purpose, fueling the next few hours, not the next few days. No more 2 p.m. death spiral. No more fantasizing about becoming one with my couch. Just steady, consistent energy that actually lasted. Number 7, I fixed my sleep hygiene for real this time. Everyone talks about sleep, but nobody talks about sleep hygiene properly. I thought I was doing everything right, getting 7 to 8 hours, going to bed at a reasonable time, still waking up, feeling like I got hit by a truck. It wasn't how much I slept, it was how I slept. My bedroom was a disaster zone for quality rest. Laptop in bed, phone charging next to my pillow, LED lights from electronics turning my room into a spaceship cockpit. I'd scroll TikTok until my eyes burned, then wonder why I couldn't fall asleep. Wake up 3 times a night to check notifications I didn't even care about. My brain never got the memo that it was time to actually rest. Pitch black room, blackout curtains, tape over LED lights, the works, phone charges in another room, no screens 30 minutes before bed, room temperature slightly cool, white noise machine to drown out my upstairs neighbor's apparent bowling league. I started a wind-down routine, nothing fancy, 30 minutes of reading, stretching, or journaling, something that told my brain, workday is over, human time begins. I stopped waking up feeling like I fought a bear all night. My brain started actually recharging instead of just being unconscious for 8 hours. Number 8, I made boredom illegal. There was a stretch where I did everything right. Decent job, nice apartment, went to the gym, meal prepped like a responsible adult. Yet I was exhausted all the time, but not, I've been working too hard, tired. More like my soul is in a coma, tired. I was bored. Not nothing to do bored. Emotionally and spiritually bored. The kind where your life is technically full, but everything feels gray and repetitive, like living the same Tuesday over and over. Boredom is exhausting. When your days all look the same, feel the same, blur together like a TV show you never wanted to watch, your brain goes into energy-saving mode. No dopamine, no excitement, just endless mental fog. I made boredom illegal, not Instagram adventure nonsense, just little sparks of novelty. Taking different routes to work, trying weird recipes, saying yes to plans I'd normally auto-decline, listening to podcasts about topics I knew nothing about. Let me tell you, novelty fuels dopamine, and dopamine fuels energy. You don't need a vacation in Europe to feel alive. Sometimes you just need a reason to look up from your routine. I started feeling more alive, not in a fake productivity hack way, but in a, my brain actually wants to be awake today way. But here's what's really going to shock you. There's one thing that's probably destroying your energy every single day, and you're doing it because you think it's making you healthier. This next point completely changed how I think about fitness and energy. Number 9, I moved more but smarter. For months, I believed the lie that being tired meant I wasn't working out enough, so I tried to fight exhaustion with intense workouts, HIIT classes that felt like punishment, gym sessions where I pushed myself until I wanted to throw up. I'd leave drenched in sweat, but emotionally bankrupt and halfway to a nap I couldn't afford. Being exhausted and being out of shape aren't the same thing. You can be physically fit and still feel like roadkill if you're constantly stressing your nervous system. When I stopped punishing myself and started moving gently, I actually got more energy. When you're chronically tired, your body needs movement that feels safe, not stressful. I ditched the no pain, no gain mentality and started small. Walk around the block small. Stretch while watching Netflix small. 10 minutes of movement not to burn calories or prove something, but just to remind my body it was alive. I started pacing during phone calls, doing push-ups during commercial breaks, walking while listening to podcasts. The bar was low, but that's the point. You don't need more punishment. You need more permission to move in ways that feel good. My energy went up consistently. I started feeling like a person again instead of a zombie with a gym membership. Number 10, I set boundaries with technology. My phone was basically an IV drip of anxiety straight into my bloodstream. Every notification was a little hit of stress. Every scroll session was voluntary brain fog. Every quick check turned into an hour of my life I'd never get back. I was spending more time staring at screens than looking at actual humans or the actual world. My brain was constantly processing information, responding to stimuli, jumping between apps like a pinball machine. I tracked my screen time for a week and nearly threw my phone in the trash. 7 hours a day, 7. That's more time than I was sleeping. Notifications off for everything except calls and texts. Social media apps deleted during weekdays. Phone charges in another room at night. Specific times for checking email instead of constantly refreshing. I started having phone-free meals, phone-free walks, phone-free conversations. My brain started working again. I could think clearly, focus for longer than 30 seconds, and actually be present in my own life instead of constantly documenting it or escaping from it. Let me tell you, these 10 changes didn't just fix my tiredness, they gave me my life back. I went from surviving each day to actually living it, from managing exhaustion to cultivating genuine energy and vitality. Your constant tiredness isn't normal. It's not the price of being an adult or working hard. It's your system telling you something needs to change. Each change amplified the others. Better mornings led to better energy for food choices. Cutting energy vampires created space for activities that actually energized me. Moving gently made rest feel natural instead of guilty. Being honest about what wasn't working gave me permission to change it. My friend, you don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Pick one thing, the one that hit you hardest while reading this. Start there. Your energy is trying to tell you something important. Stop waiting until you completely burn out to take care of yourself. Start taking care of yourself so you don't burn out. You weren't meant to spend your 20s feeling like you're running on empty. If you found this video helpful, this next video right here will take you even further. Your choice, your life, start now.